Well, we know what a big challenge coming to Twickenham is. It had been how many years since 1983 since we'd won, and while we played really well 2 years ago, there weren't any supporters there that day, so we know this is a bigger challenge. We believe the team are ready for that challenge, the way we've evolved over the last couple of years since then, but in particular our games in autumn. But it'll be a big test for us, first game of the championship. I imagine it'll be similar players, players that are in form. They've got huge depth to choose from, so they're going to be strong individually. They're playing at home, and Twickenham's always been a tough place for any opposition to go to. If you're trying to predict what rugby they're going to play, maybe it's going to be a bit more simplified, because it's a new coaching group and they've only got these 4 or 5 training sessions before we play them. There'd be a big focus on the forwards, on the set piece, maybe the maul. So yeah, we've got to be aware of that and match that, but also get our game into play and take our game to them. So we've got to be focused a lot on ourselves. We've always found Twickenham atmosphere intense, noisy. There's a lot of national pride before the game, like you get in every Six Nations game, but we feel that at Twickenham. So that's going to be there at the beginning of the game. How England play and how we play probably will have a factor on whether the atmosphere stays as raucous for the 80 minutes. But even if it is noisy, intimidating, then we've got to just keep our control, thrive in it too. Like there's the physical chaos and intensity of test matches that you prepare yourself for, and you've got to thrive in that arena. It's the same with the noise. Like if we really want to be the team that we believe we can be, then a noisy atmosphere is just another thing that we've got to take on. Finn was outstanding in the autumn, both in how he played. It was probably the best he's played for Scotland in maybe two or 3 years. It was a real high level against New Zealand, and an even better performance against Argentina. But he was great around the group, like he always is. He's very good to work with in a training week. He's now at a level of experience where he understands the game and what defences are going to do. Physically, he's in really good shape too. So he had a couple of weeks off, or a week off for Racing over Christmas. I think that'll help him during the Six Nations, because he does play a lot of rugby over in France. So yeah, he'll be looking forward to the championship like we are. He's obviously played for us a number of games, and like I said before, part of the reason we've done well is our accuracy, and a lot of that is led through your 10. Your 10 gets the most catches of anybody in a team, so he's got to lead the attack, and he's done that really well. He's a very competitive player, Finn. This doesn't get talked about enough. Like, he's a laid-back person, even laid back on the field, but he's competitive, and maybe the England game gets him even more competitive, and he tackles harder, hits rucks even harder. Although he only probably hits 2 rucks a game, but hits them well. Yes, true. Look, people change as well throughout their rugby careers and their lives. So you're a different person at 20, 21-year-old than you are at 30-year-old. And Finn's had changes in his life, just became a dad for the first time. But in the position you play, you've got to take a big role in the leadership of the game, and that requires preparation, and Finn does that. So maybe it's something that people here or at social media don't want to, or don't focus on enough, more the actions he has, but that's a good thing to focus on too. He's one of the most skillful players to have played the game, not just playing now, but to have ever played the game. What he can do with his passing, his decision making, his kicking game. But there's a lot goes into that. A lot of practice, a lot of watching rugby and experience rugby to know when to pull the trigger. And there's a lot of discipline that has to go into it to make the decision to go for an offload or a kick. So he's coming into his prime years. Like, he's coming into that time where physically you're still able to compete and do everything you want to do, but you have that knowledge of 10 years playing at number 10, aware what defence might look like after 2 or 3 phases. So yeah, it's a great opportunity for him, this championship, and obviously the World Cup too. Every team have improved in the North over the last 10 years. So even though we've improved and we've had some big results against Northern Hemisphere but also Southern Hemisphere opposition, the Six Nations is at a higher level than ever before. Us not building on wins, like the big frustration was 2 years ago, where we were 17-3 up against Wales after beating England in the first round, and we didn't see that victory out. So that could have given us obviously an opportunity to go for the title that year. So yeah, you also need a bit of luck, and luck could be the injuries that you suffer or don't suffer. It could be a decision from a referee. Lots of factors, but you have to play well. You need your team to play well to have a chance, and do that over 5 games. And I think you nailed it with hope to expectation. I really believe our supporters come to our games, whether it's home or away, believing that we can win, not just hoping. Expectation brings more demands, more responsibility. I suppose criticism when you don't reach those levels, but we've got to take that on board. We'd much rather prefer our supporters coming to games expecting a win than hoping, and that has been the case. And look, you're not going to win all the time, and when you see the supporters staying at the end of the New Zealand game, an hour and a half after final whistle, waiting for the players after a defeat, it shows how well the players have connected with the supporters over the last few years, and how much they drive us forward as well. Consistent isn't just playing your best every week, it's making sure that when you don't play as well, you don't drop to a bad performance. And you're right, the last 2 Six Nations we've opened with victories and we haven't followed them up in round 2. Now, the opposition have a big part to play in that, but 2 years ago we played well against Wales. We were obviously affected by a red card. Last year we didn't, down in Cardiff, and that's something we have to improve. We have to improve within games as well, when momentum goes away the opposition, how we keep our togetherness, emotional control, and knowing what the next solution is. And that's something that really encouraged me in the autumn. We went 14-0 down against New Zealand after 7 minutes, and then for the next 53 minutes we were 23-0 up on the scoreboard. So that takes a lot of calm and leadership from the players and accuracy to get back and score those points.